Now imagine being a child escaping a country that is ravaged by war, moving halfway around the world and landing in a school where you don't speak a word of the native language. It's a reality for thousands of kids every day. But there's an American high school that not only takes hundreds of refugees, it also embraces them. Vyon's Andy Rosgen takes you inside as to what has become Chicago's refugee high school.
High school senior Ragad Krembe has a story to tell. Not about her ambitions to be a fashion designer, she designed that hijab herself, but rather a much darker story from her native Syria.
I lost a lot of people from my family, a lot of members, and that's made me so sad. And yeah, but I have my family, my dad and my mom, my brother and sister here with me in Chicago.
And so it is for hundreds of kids here at Sullivan High School in Chicago, a perfectly typical American high school on the outside and otherworldly high school on the inside. Of Sullivan's 641 students, almost half are immigrants and refugees from war-torn countries, from Angola to Zimbabwe, Malawi to Malaysia to Myanmar, from Syria to Iraq to Congo, 35 nations speaking 38 different languages.
It's funny, almost all of us on staff speak Spanish, but it does us absolutely no good. We really need to know Arabic, Swahili, Kinyarwanda, Burmese, Nepali, and about 50 other languages.
Sarah Quintens has the title English Language Program Director, but around here they just call her Miss Q. And, powered by diet soda, she is constantly in motion, hustling students to where they need to be using the tiny bit of Arabic she's learned, or stopping to help this brother and sister from India. It's all exhausting and rewarding.
Do you think that the word gets around that from refugees all over the world who come here that Sullivan is the place to go? Do you want to be known as that school?
Absolutely. Of course.
It never meant to be this way at Sullivan. For years, the neighborhood around the high school was attracting new refugees, but Sullivan was woefully unprepared to handle all those befuddled foreign students. Fights broke out. Attendance was low. Test scores were low. The graduation rate was only about 40%. But things started to change in 2013 when new school leadership started figuring out a way to work with these new students rather than just tolerate them.
We look at them, we talk to them, we listen to them. What do you need to learn in order for you to feel more comfortable and confident in your new home?
The school started working more closely with local agencies that deal with refugees. And most importantly, it changed how students are divided into classrooms.
The key here is that Sullivan doesn't divide its students by religion or country or even age or grade, only by their proficiency in English.
Which means if an incoming freshman from Syria and an incoming senior from Burma arrive without speaking a word of English, they go into the same class together, called a silent English class. There, the teacher communicates using only pictures or even charades, or communicates through sports or music.
I don't want for them that they spend their next 4 years silently reading a textbook. I want them to, when they graduate from here, we have prepared them for life in America.
The goal is not to load the students down with details, but rather broad strokes.
Students will not get this anywhere else. It is such an opportunity for them. It's such an opportunity for the teachers and all the staff.
Today, the results speak for themselves. Attendance is up. The graduation rate is up to around 60% now, and test scores have risen to the point where Sullivan is now off academic probation. Yep. Assistant Principal Matt Fasana says teachers who work at Sullivan have to be all in on its non-traditional approach.
It is hard work. Being a teacher is hard. And I find that the ESL teachers here at Sullivan, quickly find that motivation. And so they will run through a wall for these kids. And that's, I think, ultimately what best serves them.
I think the most challenging part is just making sure that we do what the kids need, learning who they are to make sure that we're addressing them individually. So just getting to know the kids, it's the most fun part too, but it is one of the most challenging things we do.
Miss Q is adamant about giving these students a heavy dose of American reality. Students have to do things they may have never done back in their native countries. They have to give firm handshakes and look authority figures in the eye. And the girls aren't off the hook when it comes to playing sports with the boys. Here it's hijabs and high tops. But Miss Q still wants students to stay true to their roots as well. Today, she's walking through the cafeteria, asking the students what holidays are celebrated in their native countries during December and January. The Iraqi students tell her about Soldiers' Day, celebrated in January. She learns that just about every nation celebrates New Year's, but Christmas, not so much.
I don't want to just put Christmas trees out around the building and say Merry Christmas when none of them celebrate Christmas.
And Miss Q has turned the school library into a refugee sanctuary. Here, a couple of Muslim girls can share a laugh among the bookshelves. Or kids can get extra instruction on everything from American money to math, thanks to a tutor, Daniel Risk, who fortunately speaks Arabic.
It's a rewarding feeling when you're working with them on like the simple algebraic equation, then you hear that, oh, when they start putting pieces together, just, whether it's like applying for college, like whatever it is, like they're very thankful students and people.
As much as it has been working, Miss Q has fears. There's already been a slowdown of incoming refugees this year, she says, thanks to changes in refugee policies under the Trump administration. And test scores have room for improvement. But given where so many of these students were,
America is very happy. It's not something to fight. But in Congo, every day, if you sleep, you see gun. Some people, they shoot the gun and no problems. They kill people.
And where so many of these students now want to go,
I want to be a political.
In politics? Why?
Because I want to go help my country.
It's hard to imagine those dreams can't happen.
My big dream, I want to go help my country able to be happy. That's my dream.
The motto around here, one Ummah. We're all in this together. Andy Roesgen in Chicago for WION.